NFL Spread Pod, also known as the Young Guys Pod, also known as Run Pure Sports, two young guys and an old guy. And I'm looking forward to talking to our two young gentlemen tonight. Of course, there's Titletown. Can't really see him. He's wearing black. Did you do that on purpose, Title? You're all in black, and I really can't tell you from the background. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. I got a black sweatshirt on, a black hat on.
Don't apologize.
Black background. I don't know what to tell you, but you can see my mug.
Look, you look much better in this hat than I do.
Yeah, what size is it? Didn't you get? There's buttons on the back. You can make them small.
Even if I do it, even if I put it small, it's just I don't look good.
K-Falik's picture was so funny.
It was pretty funny. Here, this is me as tight as it can go in my head.
That looks better than it sagging over your ears.
Yeah, if you're listening to this in the podcast, Title's wearing his hat that his DK rep gave him. I'm wearing the one that my guy gave me. By the way, nobody has a DK rep with a lower bankroll than me.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm very impressed at how you have a DK rep.
Yeah.
It took me a while. Like I had to reach out multiple times, and I knew my volume was good. They just kept wanting me not to keep talking. I guess I don't know. So I'm impressed with you.
Thank you very much. I got a John Elway signed helmet. Shout out to my guys at my guy at DraftKings, man. Totally fucking awesome.
Free hats and helmets. That's cute. Real cute.
Take care of you. What'd you get? What kind of free stuff did you get? Nothing.
I got a nice little lunch with the Reds GM. I got some nice sweet tickets. Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's cute. I'd prefer a hat.
Huh?
I'd prefer a hat for sure.
You had lunch with David Bell?
Nick Crowell, the GM.
Bell is their
manager.
Okay. What, do you want to tell a story about this?
No. I just think it's cute. You guys bragging.
You might as well
tell
the story about what's going on outside that we keep hearing and people probably hear in the background.
Like it went right when he hit the live button, it cut off. So I'm like, okay, great. All right, we're going to survive. Then this guy leaves the apartment building and immediately starts again. And it's just all I can see is the flashing red lights. It's like, surely I just want to go out there. I just want to take my keys and drag it across the side of that car right now. That's literally all I want to do in life is just take a nice little key, draw, not my name because that would definitely persecute me, but I draw someone's name randomly on it. And just
this video would persecute
get some revenge. Yeah, a little bit, but
you'd definitely be persecuted. So what else is going on? Will you go outside and tell these people to stop? Like, do you have a spine? What are you doing?
No, I feel like I don't think anyone's in the car. It's just no one's in the car. I think someone either slapped the car or something like that and then ran off.
The car.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Slap the car, Rubio.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Thanks, buddy. I really hope you slap the car. Title, I hope he slaps the car. I don't think he's going to do it.
Zero chance.
No chance.
Zero chance he's doing anything.
Hey,
he's just going to take a lap.
Is moving to Colorado.
Are you serious? I did not.
I'm not even kidding. We did the show today. By the way, I should just plug all the shows. Let me do that while we're talking. Remind me that I was talking about Mangone though, okay?
All right.
RPS Heater 25% off your first monthly payment at runpuresports.com. Title's doing a whole bunch of work with us. Rubio with a lot of Showdown work. We have a Showdown site just because Showdown, we focus on it because Big T's if he's not the best in the world, he's right there at it. Core plays, GPP, cash, hoop, Mangone, Title, Rubio does the Showdown stuff. Best in the business. That's what we got here. RPS Heater 25% off your first monthly installment there. We have the Old Guys pod to listen to. So if you listen to this, you're like, oh, I like this stuff. Two old people, Uncle T and G Rise, and we did the Wishbone pod. So that's out there. Okay, Mangone. Yeah, we're doing the show today. The one where we do the DFS side and the bet side together. Picking winners. Me and him and Keg from the bet side. And he just casually throws in, yeah, I'm just driving out to Colorado. Like, yeah, people just drive out to Colorado from New Jersey. Guy's freaking moving out here. The interesting part is it's 15 minutes from where I live, but like if you don't drive a pickup truck where he's going, you're definitely going to stand out. Mangone is in for a massive culture shock. Massive.
It's Hicktown by you.
He's living in a town that's like on the other side. Kind of a hick town.
Well, you said trucks, so that's just my first thought was Hicktown.
Some hicks.
So
not all people that drive trucks are hicks, but
no. But if it's a whole community of driving trucks, I mean, I don't know. That's what. So it's tomorrow. He's actually moving because I know tomorrow I'm subbing in the cash show for him.
Tomorrow, all weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Is he actually moving tomorrow or what?
Yeah, he's coming down to Kentucky on Friday.
Oh, so yeah,
we're playing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're playing
He's
golf
not,
with him on Friday.
I thought he was going to Kentucky, but he said moving. I was like, there's no way he's actually moving tomorrow. That makes sense.
Rubio, what's your relationship with Mangone? Really?
I kick his ass in basketball. I take names, and
do you really?
I kick his ass on the golf course. I mean, he's I would have thought he was a better athlete than he really was. But like, here's the thing: he was all jacked up on Red Bull, so I'm gonna make sure to drink a lot of Red Bull right now. Drink a nice little bit of Coca-Cola. I think I'm gonna do the same right before we go hit the golf course. Maybe drinking a few beers just so I have an excuse. But I have access to this great golf course. I get them on free. I got BigT, Uncle T, and Mangone, and they better get my lunch and stuff like that. But I already know I'm gonna take enough of their money anyway. But it's gonna be a fun time. Mangone says he's not very good at golf, but what is he good at in sports wise? I haven't found out.
Rubio's just angry, coming with massive fire right now. I love it. I love the passion, Rubio. But can you give us a little more insight? I'm interested in what Uncle T is like on the golf course because he seems to talk a lot of shit, and I wonder if he backs it up.
He backs it up. So actually, we're playing $100 head to head tomorrow or Friday, and $100 match play. So we're doing 200 down total. I think I'm gonna win. He doesn't realize how hard this course is. I played it 100 times. I used to be an employee there. You hit the grinding, the links and all that. But here's the thing. He's going to hit the ball in the water at least 5 times. All right. There is so much water there. You think you're at the beach. And I just think the best part about this is I'm going to take a free 200 from Uncle T. I'm going to parlay that into a nice little Indiana shift. And it's on Saturday, just gamble it all on college football. And then come with, a comma on my bets bankroll yet again, just off of beating Uncle T on the golf course.
Mangone, I think basketball-wise, I'd like to know a little bit more about that because you talked about Red Bull. So he was hopped up on like meth trying to play you.
You've never heard this story?
Yeah,
no, I've not heard this story.
Wow.
No. I want Title to tell it.
Title, why don't you tell me, Title? What happened?
Well, we were outside Big T's backyard in his court, and we were just shooting the basketball. I don't know if it was the first game. I think it might have been the first game of the day, but we were playing games all weekend and stuff. And then we were like, Mangone, and Rubio wanted to play too. So Mangone didn't want to play at all. We pretty much forced him. We got Rubio and him to play one-on-one. I was like, give me Rubio. I want action on Rubio. Oops, I'll take action on Rubio. Yeah, Big T has Mangone. This is how we knew the weekend was going to be bad, and eventually he was going to lose because he wanted Mangone. Hoop and I got a free 100 from him, and Mangone had a bunch of Red Bulls that morning. He just came out of the gate flying, using all of his energy for legit 5 minutes, and pretty much had a heart attack. He had to pull himself. Yeah. The game was like 1-0, maybe. Maybe 0-0. I don't even know.
No, I had 3 on him.
I had 3-0, and eventually Mangone was like, I can't keep doing this. And he wanted Mangone's not going to listen to the show unless someone tells him. But
he'll listen now.
All this is true. Then he went on the couch and he was pretty much like dead. He was going to he was going to throw up. Yeah. He was pale. He was calling for Big T's wife, Amber. He's like, where's Amber? She's a nurse. I need her. She was gone. Big T's absolutely dying. Mangone absolutely he had so many Red Bulls. He just so much sugar. I guess he doesn't run and stuff a lot. He was out. Big T said horse down, probably for a good 3-4 hours. I think he eventually puked.
Definitely 3 to 4 hours.
I think he eventually puked and felt better, but it was absolutely, as Big T will say, it's the worst bet he's ever made. Free money.
I felt so bad for him. I went up to him. He's laying face down on this couch and stuff, just gasping for life. And I went over to him and said, I'm sorry, but don't ever test me again. And I spit on his face. No, I'm
come on. He OD'd on Red Bull. He literally OD'd on Red Bull.
I was pouring water. I was pouring water on the top of his head and hair. He's like, that feels good. Thank you. I was scared for him. Like, he was out of it.
It was low-key pretty bad, yeah.
It was bad.
Bet on somebody ODing on Red Bull at Run Pure. That's not the guy I really would have thought.
That would have been my guess.
Oh, I would have said G Rison.
G Rison's just beer. I don't think he's I didn't know Hoop. Hoop I never pegged for energy. I mean, now when I see him drink it, but he's the other one that drank it. Mangone, though, he was drinking it like it was water.
Wow, he OD'd on that. That is just fascinating to me. Fascinating.
Hey, now you know the story. It'll come up multiple other times.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Hopefully our listeners heard that for the first time too. So I do have a bone to pick with Rubio. He called me daddy. He goes, okay, daddy. I recently was seeing a girl that was 29 and she liked to say the word she wanted to call me daddy and I wouldn't let her. And I have 2 kids and I don't like that. What's going on with this daddy thing? And can we please stop it? Cause it's fucking weird.
I just think that, you can test someone's manlyhood by calling them daddy. And like, especially if you call another male that, see how they react. I think you react in the appropriate manner, but you say that to a coworker and it just shocks them. I just love the sense of shock on their face. I never heard it from your perspective when you're like, oh, I'm a father of 2 kids, right? You are a daddy. Your kids call you daddy. So I can see how that's a little bit weird, but I think that's a generation gap too. I kind of want to hear Title's opinion on this. Like,
just real quick, does your girlfriend call you daddy?
Of course, Poppy.
In the bedroom, on a picnic, in the bedroom, she calls you daddy.
Yes, I hope she doesn't listen, but yes,
Ooh,
absolutely.
Come on, daddy. Rubio's big daddy. All right, what do you got here, Title? Give me the lowdown.
I don't got much. It's definitely a generational thing. Certain people our age say it. It's not in my vocabulary personally.
Okay. Is it in your vocabulary?
No, that doesn't happen with me. Hearing it from Holden's perspective is even funnier though, because our generation, you say it to other kids that obviously aren't a parent. For you, that'd be really weird. So I'm totally with you. I would not let anyone, girl, guy, you name it. No one's calling me daddy, especially if I have kids.
I told Rubio this. The first thing I said to him, I said, first of all, what the fuck are you calling me daddy for? What's the matter with you? And then, like, who would do that? And he was like, oh, people use it. But one of those girls, then she's, oh, come on, daddy. And I stopped. I literally stopped. I said, listen, you can't call me that again. I can't do it. I got 2 kids.
The biggest turn off for Holden. The only thing that'll turn him off is that right there.
Yeah, I mean, you could be ugly and large, missing limbs. I'm fine with that. Do not call me daddy. I do not like that. It was horrible, Title. It did take a few minutes to get back on track, too. Everything was discombobulated. You know what I'm saying?
Midnight to 6 right away.
Yeah, midnight to 6.
Midnight to 6. I said that on another show. Like, I don't think anybody understood what it was. Yeah. They're like, midnight to 6. What does that mean? I think it's 6 to midnight.
No, but think about it. Come on.
You're down at 6, and then you're up at midnight. 6 to midnight.
Yeah, I said midnight to 6 for you.
Yeah, you went from midnight to 6.
Why are you going midnight to 6? That's
because they called you daddy.
That joke went right over.
Yeah, I got it. It took me a minute. I found it. Good job, Title. Title, are you okay after last week? You said you didn't know who Scarlett Johansson was. People were making fun of you in Discord.
They can make fun of me. It's a fact.
Uncle T did not know who she was, and he lived through her prime.
That's cap.
Huh?
Cap.
I don't know what that means either. Did you say cat?
Rubio's loving it.
You don't know what cat means?
Cap.
CAP. Like a cap. Ball cap. Cap.
CAT.
Holden doesn't know what that means.
No idea.
Petting.
All right, keep going.
Heavy petting?
Yeah, sure. If you want to, use that to reference, but cat basically means like bullshit. You're lying. I know you're too old to understand that, but goodness, that's been around for a couple of years.
If someone's lying, if you think they're lying, you go cap.
Cap. Yep.
Why don't you just say you're lying?
Because that's way too many syllables.
Okay, we're getting efficient with with the English language now. All right, I like that. Title, do you say cap?
Not really. I mean,
no.
That's definitely closer to my vocabulary than daddy, I will say, but neither really. But yeah, Uncle T. I mean, yeah, the Scarlett Johansson. I mean, people can say, I'm going to tell the truth. I had no clue who she was. I still hardly know who she is, except that she's an actor, and I looked up her picture, and everyone else knows her. Uncle T doesn't know her, though, so yeah. All right, Uncle T, you make me feel even though I didn't feel bad. That has to be worse, like you said. If he lived through her prime, That has to be worse, but I'm not surprised.
So disappointing. It's just so disappointing. Rubio, I can't wait till you report back to this show that you just whooped Uncle T's old ass into the ground. Are you playing on his birthday too? Because from what I remember, neither one of you begged me to say something nice to them on the show when it was their birthday, a week in advance, like Uncle T did. So are you going to whoop his ass there, Rubio?
I'll whoop his ass, make him buy me lunch, get me a beer, and then tell him happy birthday and pre-order his wife a new iPhone because that's just the type of guy I am. Yeah, iPhone 13 coming out. If you're with Verizon, you know where to get it.
Cap.
That's not how you use it, damn it.
Let's talk football. We could go on for days. With this,
I was about to talk about Mostert.
Yeah. Talk about your boy Mostert.
Took my cock and balls out, put him on the thing, and some bitch gets hurt. It happens. I liked him because he wasn't hurt for once, but I learned my lesson. I will never play him again in all likelihood. The interesting thing was, let me just take you through a little thing here. JSU changed his core and had double San Francisco running backs. So remember, leading up, we're on the premium show. If you're not a member, we do the Wood show that's free, but we do a premium show all the way up to lock. We get you the breaking news, the angles, everything you need to answer your questions. RunPureSports.com. Get there. So, what was I saying, Title? What was I talking about?
JSU has 2 San Fran running backs in his core.
So he does that, and then right when that happens, Cam Inman, Mercury News, Niners beat writer, says Elijah Mitchell is going to be the number 2 today, and Brandon Ayuk is going to play behind Sherfield. So I'm like, screw it. Let's throw Mitchell in there. Nobody's going to be on Mitchell. Well, nobody was on Mitchell. It was 0.1, but when you put him with Mostert, it didn't work out as well. That was a min-cash team, but it was cool at least having Mitchell on there. And I want to start out with him, guys. What are you doing with Elijah Mitchell in week 2, given the history of what's gone on with Shanahan backfields?
I mean, yeah, I'll start this. I mean, first of all, Mostert and Mitchell, I don't think that's a very good – I guess that JSU, I'll never doubt JSU if that's what he had in his core. But 2 starting running backs on a 13-game slate, I don't know. I don't think the ceiling's necessarily there. But as far as Mitchell, I mean, he was by far the best waiver pickup probably in the whole regular season. I mean, you had to spend – I saw people saying people spent 85% of their – auction or whatever bids, whatever they call them nowadays in season long. I mean, yeah, they love this kid. It seems like he has a good talent. I like him. As far as DFS, I'm not gonna like what is he? He's 5K right now. I don't think I'd probably get to him in cash games. There's a lot of cheap, like Najee Harris is only 6.3K, played every snap. Chris Carson's there at 6'1" without Penny this week. Henderson's 5'7", who carried all the workload. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get to Mitchell. I think there's too many unknowns. Still, I don't know if he's at 80%, going to get 80% of the rushing or carries. He's going to get too many targets out of the back. I think Sermon's still going to be involved a little bit. Hasty still might be involved a little bit. So I'm going to take more of a wait-and-see approach in the DFS aspect since I'm not sure his ceiling's quite there. Tournaments will be very low on, but cash games, I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach. But he was by far the best ad in season long.
Yeah, you can't play him in cash. Rubio, what are you doing with him this week?
Fading. He's a flash in the pan.
Okay.
Trey Sermon was inactive, like Title said. I expect him to be in the mix. We already know how the 49ers are with their backfields to begin with. And it wouldn't surprise me if, Mitchell all of a sudden only, he goes from what he said, 80% of the carries to 40% next week. And, I think, he could be low owned for tournaments and stuff. But people see a game log, people see a cheap running back, and people see Mostert's out for the year. I think he'll definitely garner some ownership. And to me, it's just I'm not even really considering him. I got first waiver wire in the fantasy, my season-long league that I do. And, shamefully I do. But I'm not picking him up either. I just think I think there's better options, and I'm not going to stick with a potential RB25 for the course of the season and a guy who I don't think gets the majority of the work, after a few weeks here.
Start a quarterback, boys. Let's get going here. Kyler Murray, when the dude's 100%, the dude is an MVP candidate, and he's 100%. He's feeling great right now. Last year he got hurt. The production went down big time. Russell Wilson, super efficient again. Josh Allen's coming off a tough game. Brady's set up in a great spot. Prescott Herbert, Hurts. There's a million different guys I would feel comfortable rolling out there in cash or GPP. Title, who's at the top of the list in cash this week?
Yeah, like you said, a quarterback's absolutely stacked. I mean, we have multiple totals over 50 today or this week. I think so there's definitely a couple options. Right now, what stands out to me is Josh Allen and Herbert. Kyler's 8.2, Josh Allen 7.2. That 1,000 goes a long way, especially with we don't have as many 3K receivers that are viable. Pricing's a little tighter this week, so I like the savings. Josh Allen had a disappointing game, but that was pretty much a floor game for Josh Allen at 17. And he missed Emanuel Sanders on a 55-yard touchdown too. Easily could have been 25 right there. I still think Kyler's fine, but like I said, the 1,000 goes a long way for me. And then Justin Herbert, $500 savings. He gets Dallas now. DeMarcus Lawrence is out, which is a huge hit to that defense. I think that's going to be a complete shootout. Herbert slung the ball over 50 times last game. I think this is going to be a great, great game. 6,700 is way too cheap. If you need the 500 down from Allen, I'm definitely fine with Herbert. He has some rushing upside too. So Allen and Herbert are my two favorites in cash right now. But like you said, Hurts, Wilson, Brady, Dak. There's tons of good pivots in tournaments where I'm just going to play one of the lower owned guys and pivot in tournaments.
Okay, Rubio, let's attack this from the GPP side. And I want to lead you in one direction, then you take it to wherever you want to go. But how low can we go here? I mean, Teddy Bridgewater against Jacksonville, or is that just the Denver running backs? Matt Ryan, I know nobody wants to play Matt Ryan, but you would think he's going to have to throw a ton. Burrow, not a great matchup. Garoppolo. How low can you go? Is there any reason to go down there in a GPP this week?
I think it's so tough. You look at it here. I think the lowest that you can possibly go is probably Big T's boy Carson Wentz, maybe, because you can anticipate that they'll be trailing most of the game against the Rams potentially. I think that the Colts offensive line was, very awful. It was apparent that day, and they kept trying to run the ball a lot with Jonathan Taylor. I hated the play calling and stuff. But that's a guy who put up 19, felt like that was his worst performance that he could have had in that game, just kind of watching it and stuff. He threw 38 times, but there's such a gap between the 6,700 versus the 5,200. We have such a high total game with Dak Prescott and Justin Herbert. They combined for 105 attempts last game, each in the respective games and stuff. It's really hard to justify going down too much and sacrificing that potential game stack there, because you look at it on this slate, you can get whatever you want in terms of you just stacking that game. The receivers aren't overly expensive, and that total is just so massive. But if you're trying to get different, I think you can go back down, maybe to Carson Wentz, and then maybe, just maybe, you can justify Matt Ryan again. But I hate doing that. They looked so bad last week. But I do like the options of Pitts and Calvin Ridley. But I'm kind of with title here. Herbert's my number one guy. And then maybe Dak in that same game. But, I'll probably go down to Wentz, just a couple lineups, but that's the lowest I'll go.
Okay. All right. I like that. Herbert, it's this Dallas Chargers game, man. I can't get my eyes off of it. And as we discussed last night on the Wishbone, it was like the 4:00 games are really standing out. And that to me stands out more than anything else. Title, what do you think of that Jacksonville, Chargers Cowboys game?
Yeah, 55.5 total. You don't see that very often in week 2, especially after a lot of unders last week. I mean, they were expecting a lot of offense. Cowboys offense looked absolutely phenomenal last week. Dak, you could tell Dak's ankle still. He wasn't 100% confident running on it, but his arm looked very, very good. He has the weapons there. And then it's easy to stack them. I mean, without Gallup this week, Cedric Wilson might get a little ownership, but there's Amari, there's CeeDee Lamb. Like, it's an easy offensive stack. And same on the other side. Herbert's too cheap. Lawrence, as I mentioned, is a big downgrade for that Cowboys defense. Brady slung it all over the field. Like, just two good quarterbacks, two good offenses, easy to stack. So I think a lot of ownership goes there. And if that's the case, like, as much as I do like it, we still have a 53.5 total in Seattle and Tennessee, 52.5 total with the Buccaneers in Atlanta, 51 total with the Cardinals in Minnesota. So we have pivots. If it's going to get all the ownership, I'm going to be off in tournament just for that reason. As much as I love it, I'll have some exposure in cash for sure. If it starts getting overlooked come Sunday with so many good spots, I'll have a lot of it.
All right, Rubio. Maybe I have to get off the chalk game then. In a GPP, I'll have to. No doubt about it. What's your game this week? What do you like more than anything else? You like Seattle? You like Arizona? What game is standing out to you?
Well, I kind of like the Chargers Dallas, of course, but if you're kind of talking about from a tournament perspective and stuff, I do like the Rams Colts game a little bit. I think the Colts, kind of scored on the underside of what they should have had. Felt like they kind of stalwarted in the, the opposing end just more than a couple times and stuff like that. I think their 16 points could have easily been 28 or 25 even and stuff. But obviously that's a big difference, happens on a week-to-week basis. But if that's a game I'm trying to get super sneaky at, but I think, Seattle has got Russell Wilson. We saw Tyler Lockett take the show, and now DK Metcalf could easily go under-owned in this regard and, pair nicely with Russell Wilson, who probably won't get any ownership. But if I'm going that high at quarterback anyway, I'd rather just go Kyler Murray. The Minnesota Vikings defense did not look very impressive against the Bengals. And like you said, when Kyler's healthy, he is probably the best quarterback. I mean, I think he's passed Lamar Jackson and maybe Patrick Mahomes in terms of, fantasy production because of what he can do on the ground. He had 87 yards rushing or something like that. He had 8 extra points or something rushing. That's 2 whole touchdowns. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Or not 80. Who had the 80 yards? It was Lamar Jackson. But these rushing quarterbacks go a long way. And his rushing touchdown that he had last week, those 6 points, you can run him even naked a little bit. And now he's got the offensive weapons and stuff. You can even do a nice sneaky stack with AJ Green, who's really cheap as well. That's a place you can get creative, but, it just seems at the quarterback spot here, you don't need to get too complicated.
No. Kyler, just right now, Kyler 1, probably Dak 2, Herbert 3, Brady 4, and Hurts 5. That's where I would go. What do you think of Jameis Winston, guys? Is Winston in play at Carolina? He threw 5 touchdowns last week. That's not happening this week. He got set up with some great field position. You buying into Jameis this week? Either one of you?
I love Jameis as a quarterback. I think he's a very good quarterback and a game manager and someone you want on your team. But his upside in GPPs, I mean, we've seen that what they did last week. They want to rely on that run game. They want to rely on Kamara. If they have a lead, I don't think they're going to be airing out a ton this year. So I don't think his upside's really there. I mean, yeah, the 5 touchdowns, what did he throw, 150 yards? Like, we're not seeing that again. They want to rely on Kamara. I think the upside at the other guys up top are just too much.
Okay. Any thoughts on Winston?
Saints should, kind of dictate the tempo of the game, kind of like they did against the Packers. And like you said, he's not going to throw a touchdown on 33% of his passes again. So
Rubio, let's get to running back then. The Browns running backs are just going to pop out because their matchup against Houston. The Broncos running backs, that's going to pop because of their matchup against Jacksonville. See, Title, when you said there's no upside or not enough upside with 2 running backs in the same backfield, it's actually worked for me. The only tournament I took down was like a double Patriots backfield thing years ago. But
was it main slate?
It was playoffs.
That's what I mean. Like the amount of games on the slate matters.
But I still, let's say you go with a Chubb. All right.
Chubb and Kareem if it happens, but still their prices are more elevated and like
Hunt's only 5'8". I mean, that's massive salary. That's salary relief at the running back position.
But no, 100%. But to get a ceiling game from them, but like even last week,
Jacksonville, man.
No, I hear you. It's just something I never do. And Kareem's more like he can catch passes out of the backfield and stuff like that. So like I get it. It's something I'll never do in tournaments. It can. I mean, last week if they were both on your roster, you were not complaining one bit.
It was a one. Yeah, that was a one. It was a nice one lineup every once in a while. I mean, you could probably do that with the Broncos too. I really think you could if you're going to go that direction. But it could cap your upside in a big slate like this. A fine point title. Let's go to so did either one of you guys have McCaffrey last week and you plan on having him this week at 9-9 on draft?
Rubio's favorite play.
Yeah, but I'm not fading him. No shot.
10
no shot.
Yeah.
He had 9 catches for 81 yards and stuff like that with like a quarter and a half to go, or 9 catches, 89 yards. He didn't even get a single target in the fourth quarter or anything like that. If they're going to be trailing, I can easily see 12 catches in his mix. Darnold's going to check down to him a ton. I just think, just looking at McCaffrey's upside compared to everyone else in the slate, as well as his floor, he didn't even score last week and he still put up 27. I mean, he's the best running back in the game right now. People forget how good he is. I don't care about the price tag. I just care that his ownership could even be below 10%. I'm just all in on McCaffrey this entire season until, hopefully, God forbid he gets hurt.
God forbid. Why are you even bringing that up, Rubio? It's like me bringing up, you getting cheated on. That's horrible.
Yeah, the bad mojo. You're right. That's bad mojo.
Yeah, that was bad mojo for this show, buddy. All right, suck it up. You'll be fine, though. Title, McCaffrey. No, you don't need him, right? Just go down to Cook. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I was on Kamara over McCaffrey last week. They both got there. Some people played him, Dalvin, and Kamara, all three of them in cash games. I wasn't on that same build last week, but it worked out. At the end of the day, I mean, watching McCaffrey and fading him in cash was not fun. He's the best running back in football. He just bounces off tackles. He's so multidimensional. He catches so many passes. I think Darnold's an upgrade at quarterback. I think Darnold's actually a solid quarterback, and McCaffrey's open. He knows his best weapon. He has weapons on the outside. It's a tough matchup against New Orleans for sure. I don't love picking on the Saints, but it's McCaffrey at the end of the day. He's looking cash again. He's not a stone lock. I might not even get there. I think point per dollar, Kamara at 8.8K as the 4.5 point favorite. Kamara, they ran him 23 times last week. I think he's going to be a staple. I mean, they're going to run him a ton this year with Jameis, without throwing the ball as much, without Michael Thomas right now. So Kamara is my favorite at 8.8, but man, I'm going to play a ton of C-Mac in tournaments, especially if he's not going to be too long, because he showed last week. People must have forgot he's definitely a running back one, and I don't think it's really a discussion.
It's not. I mean,
he's so good.
Yeah. I mean, Dalvin, of course, Dalvin can match what CMC does, but you almost know that McCaffrey is just going to you pencil him in for that.
That Cardinals defense, speaking of Dalvin, I mean, that Cardinals defense last week was flying around the field. JJ Watt in the conversation, Chandler Jones absolutely is going off, like, especially as a dog. I don't think I'm going to really get to Dalvin as much this week. I definitely like Kamara and C-Mac a lot more.
No Derrick Henry in GPP, correct? Are we just off of him till the second half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can go there in this matchup. There's so many other guys. He'll be low owned. You can never say no to a low owned Derrick Henry, but I like the passing game more with A.J. Brown and Julio if I went anywhere in that game this week.
I think people might be back on Zeke. Don't forget, they've just had so many issues now. Randy Gregory with the COVID. So they got neither one of their defensive ends, DeMarcus Lawrence, and then Zach Martin was gone for week. There's tons of injuries on this team with Dallas. The only thing I want is their passing game. Either one of you even considering Zeke Elliott? Let's start with you, Title. Just a quick blurb on Zeke Elliott and who's in your pool this week.
He's 6.2K. So, yes, he's in the conversation. I'm not the biggest Zeke guy, to be honest. I think Tony Pollard's actually better. I wish Tony Pollard was unleashed. So when I'm not a Zeke guy and I think they're going to be passing most of the time, I won't really. I mean, he's 6'2". People are going to play him. I'm not going to really have as much. I think Chris Carson's a better play right in that same range at 6'1". Even David Montgomery at 6'1". Man, did he look good last game. I know they got absolutely destroyed, but he looked explosive. He's only 6'1". I think he'll be less owned. I'm not worried about the Bengals defense. So I think those are two pivots right there. I think Najee Harris is going to be one of the most popular backs on the slate at 6'3". He handled every single snap. He gets the Vegas Raiders now, who, again, they look decent last week, their front four, but still think he's by far the best play. He's more of a cash staple. So those are my pivots in the mid-tier. Joe Mixon at 7K, another one. Cincinnati wanted to run the ball a lot. So I'm going to be pivoting from Zeke in tournaments. He's cash consideration right now, but I don't love it. Hopefully I don't land there.
Rubio, I'm going to throw a guy out at you. I think the Rams are just going to go and lay a pipe down on the Colts. Cap. Did I say it at the right time?
I mean, do you think you're lying? You think the Colts win?
I just thought I used it at the right time.
No, not at all. I'm kind of with you. Darrell Henderson started out awful last game, and
I'm talking Naheem Heinz. I'm talking on the other side, dude. Naheem Heinz getting targeted like a mofo, and I think he's like 4-7 on DraftKings.
15 targets for the running backs last game. Jonathan Taylor and Naheem Heinz got a lot of looks. That being said, Naheem Heinz, you want to talk about upside and stuff like that. If he can get you 18 to 20, maybe you're kind of looking at the high life there a little bit. But it's real tough to kind of fully justify on a full slate. But, I definitely kind of get it. But the fact that they weren't afraid to use Jonathan Taylor in the passing game, I think kind of decreases Naheem Heinz's fantasy, outlook for the rest of the season, but not only this week. But if they weren't using Taylor, if Taylor didn't get 7 targets last week, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. I think if they're going to be trailing, Naheem Heinz could definitely get double-digit looks and potentially, kind of break the slate for the price tag. But with those targets that Jonathan Taylor got, I'm not really on the Heinz wagon. Kind of with Title for the most part on the mid-tier backs. Like, I'm actually not on David Montgomery this year at all. He had that one big opening run, but then kind of, was stifled for the most part after that. He had 15 carries for like 60 yards and stuff. Obviously got in the end zone, but Damian Williams is going to continue to eat into his work and get a lot of looks in the passing game as well. That whole mid-tier where you get some rough backs who just absolutely dudded last week. I think the one that I'm looking at is Chris Carson, but the others I think I'm going to stay away from. I get the Najee love. I kind of get the Zeke love, but it's kind of like I'd rather just go with the receivers at that point. We saw a great game script for Zeke last week, and Pollard actually had the 4 catches for 29 yards and stuff. There's not a whole lot of hope for my love for Zeke Elliott, moving forward. And I think that, kind of last year kind of started the downfall, and this year we kind of see Pollard take the reins.
I do want to say Montgomery had 16 rushes for 108 yards, by the way.
He had 1 carry for 41 yards to start the game, and then went 15.
You said 6. After. Yeah, okay. He averaged 6.8 yards a carry, and no one's
but then averaged 4 yards a carry after the first carry.
He's gonna never 4 yards a carry against Aaron Donald in that defense. Give me that all day.
Statistical outlier. He's not good.
He looked good.
And you stop it, Rubio? What are you talking about?
It's a statistical outlier. He had one big run.
Discount the guy has an ability to break a big run. Isn't that what we want?
He doesn't have that ability. It's once in a blue moon, as they say.
You're just being petulant now. I'll bring up 2. What's that?
What does that even mean?
Take a guess. I'll just bring up the Denver backs. You could say, hey, they're going to be chalk, but maybe they split ownership.
They won't be chalk. They won't be chalk.
They won't be. Melvin Gordon reached the fastest speed last 21 something with the ball in his hand. Melvin Gordon is badass still. Now, plotter, he's not a plotter anymore. All right, he's not a badass either. Let me step back from that comment. Okay, he's not as bad as you think you are, as he is. They split 50-50 with Williams. I think as long as Gordon is playing well, they're going to continue to split 50-50. This is not a cash play, guys. But I think in a GPP, one of these two guys could completely go off against that Jacksonville defense. Just everything setting up for them to smash.
I said the same thing yesterday on the Tuesday show. I said Melvin Gordon looked good. Great. And not the Melvin Gordon of what I expected at all. You expect a little slower, dusty.
Most of his yards came on 1 carry though. So that's not good.
So then it doesn't count. But anyway,
I just want to say that the only reason why Title was even considering Melvin Gordon is because of his college alumni.
No, that he is a Wisconsin guy.
You're a homer.
No, I definitely will never play. I like Javonte Williams over Melvin Gordon.
I kind of do
actually.
too.
Yeah, I think 4,400 is a really good price. He's my Chase Edmonds of last week. I played Chase Edmonds at, 44, 46 or something. He's my Chase Edmonds 4,400. He's really explosive. But Melvin Gordon, he looked really good. He looked really fast. I still think Javonte Williams is better. But in my best ball, I have Melvin Gordon in a good amount of best ball teams. So I like to see it. He looks fast.
Williams is going to get that job sooner than later, but he looks really fresh. As long as he's fresh, I'm riding the Melvin Gordon train, man. I'll probably have a little bit of both of them. I not only play 6 lineups between the 2 sides.
Melvin's 59. I just can't imagine playing him 59 instead of 4,400 and Williams.
But that's why maybe you get on Gordon then.
Oh, he'll be 0.5%. You'll be the only one to play him.
Melvin Gordon, really?
Yeah. Yes. You'll be the only one playing him.
Well, hey, Melvin Gordon, you're getting hurt because you're my guy this week.
Now I can't play him, so I'll go Javonte.
Do not about bad mojo.
Do not. No, I'm telling you, man, that was the Mostert thing. I laid my nuts out there, and
you did.
My heart. I do feel horrible for him though. His journey has been amazing, and for him to bust that ACL, man, he might not play. He might not play again. Because he's 31, he's going to be 32, right? He's a little bit of an older
He's old, but not football years. He hasn't,
I'm sorry. Yeah. It's 29. So he'll be 30 next season. All right. Anyways, guys, wide receiver time. Before we go to wide receiver, title, do my job and tell everybody about the wonderful things that they can find at runpuresports.com. And if they want to sign up right now, we got a special for new members. RPS Heater 25% off your first monthly installment. Yes, title.
Yeah, I thought I was on a little break from hosting. MLB's a little ending, so now I don't have to. NBA I'll have to a little bit. Okay, well, you guys, I mean, yeah, if you guys are watching the show, I know a lot of you are subscribers. If not, we appreciate you watching. But the biggest thing, I mean, RPS Heater 25, is that the new one you said? Gets you 25% off your first month, I'm guessing. You get playbooks, you get core plays. My favorite thing I always talk about is Discord. If you remember Run Pure Sports, we have a Discord. Talk about literally every sport at all times of the day. Talking right now in the MMA chat about the rematch, Davison Figueiredo and Moreno, Brandon Moreno, trilogy for the belt. Just talking MMA. I mean, whatever you want to talk. You want to talk League of Legends, Valorant, sports Holden doesn't even know. You can talk about it in Discord.
Valorant is video games.
So is League of Legends.
Yeah, so I knew about that. I heard of it.
I'm impressed. But yeah, you could core plays, playbooks. Rubio does the Showdown playbooks. We have MMA, we have golf, NASCAR, you name it, we have it. And then get in Discord if you're not. You can ask all the questions, talk to the other knowledgeable members. That's my favorite part.
Rubio has the unsettling atmosphere outside right now.
Bro, someone just waved in here. Like they were like, there was two people out here, and like this one guy like is walking. I'm just kind of like chilling. I'm kind of like looking off in space a little bit, and this guy's like waving at me. I'm like, what do I do?
Are you at like street level? Are you?
Yeah, I'm street level. It's probably not the move.
Why'd you do that?
I thought it's a nice room. I got the TV on. I got the Dodgers game going.
You live on the fucking ground floor. You probably get bugs and fucking assholes honking their horns all night.
Well, I mean, there's a nice barrier. There's a double entrance that requires a key to get in.
Yeah, sounds amazing because there's
no, it's not.
Horn. Yeah, it's not good, is it?
No, it could be better.
Now, somebody beat somebody up in a convenience store. You said correct?
Who are you talking about?
Somebody up for a Slurpee? Did that not happen?
No, that wasn't me. Who are you talking about, Holden?
I don't know. Must have
been those 30 milligrams talking.
Must have been on a different show. Oh, well, we'll figure it out.
Mangone or Keg. I don't know.
Mangone or Keg, one of the two.
I don't know.
Wide receiver. Rubio, let's start with you on wide receiver and why DK Metcalf is going to go off on Tennessee this week. And you probably want to look at DeAndre Hopkins again. So, yes, all the super duper chalk. But my real question is Deebo Samuel going bananas again? Because I think he is without Brandon Ayuk out there.
I'm not touching those 49ers offensive pieces at all. I get it, but the offense could come around from literally anyone on the slate. And we even saw Trey Lance throw a touchdown instead of Garoppolo. So I just stay away from the 49ers. It's a guessing game for the most part, and I just kind of let them ball vulture themselves. Obviously, Deebo went absolutely berserk. I think that's more of an outlier than anything else. You know, all his points came on one play. No, I'm kidding. But the fact of the matter is, like, I can't ever really kind of get behind it, you know, especially on a run-first team where they could only throw the ball like 23 times, 24 times. I just don't think there's enough there going on. Obviously, he has one great week, but for me, I'm not interested at all.
Who are you interested in?
Oh, man. You got the Dallas and Chargers game, of course. I think everyone's on that. I'm going to be on CD. I'm going to be on one of him or Amari for the most part, especially. I'm also going to be looking at the Chargers side of the ball with Mike Williams. I think I'm going to have a little more Mike Williams than Keenan Allen as well. If I'm looking for the lower tier, some people that, kind of getting overlooked, AJ Green, he got a lot of rave in training camp and a lot of rave during the preseason, going through practice and stuff. He could be back. And the fact that people were convinced to play Julio at 6.9 or whatever last week was, AJ Green is 3.7, has just the same amount of rust and capability as Julio does.
No, he's dust.
No, he is not dust. He had 6 targets. Obviously, he was the only one who didn't produce for the Cardinals last game.
6 targets. He can't catch the ball. He's just dust.
Oh, come on now. This is the week he catches the touchdown. So he's going to outperform Marquez Callaway last week and Michael Pittman. But what a high bar I'm going to set for him there. I'm also kind of looking at Michael Pittman yet again. You know, I think I'm going to kind of go back to him, 4.3K. gonna kind of chalk it up as bad variance for him. You got him and Pascal at 4.4 and 4.3 respectively in a game I think they trail. I already talked about that I was high on Wentz a little bit. So I'm kind of looking there for the Colts wide receivers at least a little bit. Moving further up to, I'm still enamored with the Bengals. Jamar Chase knows how to catch a football. Surprise, surprise. And I think him or Higgins, you can also look at in the mid-tier. Kind of like similar to last week, but really kind of struggling to narrow it down completely.
What do you got in cash, Titletown? Can we throw Emanuel Sanders in there yet? Because I think Emanuel Sanders is a deep threat, and he's getting some volume. I'm just going to throw him out there. I don't think he's probably not a cash guy, maybe a GPP guy. The upside actually might be there with him if he gets in the end zone. Anyways, I'm speaking out loud. What do you got at wide receiver, Title?
Everything you just said, I 100% agree with. I mean, he's 4K. He's with Josh Allen. They throw the ball over 50 times a game. He was like 6 on the slate in air yards last week. Allen just missed him on a 55-yard touchdown. He definitely has the ceiling. Have a ton of him in best ball. Like I think it's a breakout year for Emanuel Sanders. I think it's going to happen this week. I love Cole Beasley. I love Diggs. I love Allen. Like I'm going to go right back to Buffalo. And I think they do go a little overlooked with everyone playing these 4:00 games. So I'll have a ton of Buffalo. I think all 3 of those receivers are cash viable, and I love them in tournaments. I like the Bengals receivers. I got the Bengals stack at 4% last week. Burrow, Jamar Chase. I went Tyler Boyd over Higgins because a way lower ownership. Didn't work out there, but I think these Bengals receivers are all too cheap again. Chase is my favorite. I'll probably go Boyd again at 4.7. He's treated me so well in the past. Higgins 5.4. So I like all 3. Probably more of a one-off. I'm not looking to full stack them against Chicago, but I like them. And then a couple just missed prices. I really like the game of DK Metcalf. They run it back with A.J. Brown, the Ole Miss boys, grown men. They like each other. I think they absolutely go off. 100% we'll play a lineup with Metcalf and A.J. Brown. Little narrative there, Rubio.
Big brain.
Big brain, Ole Miss. Yep, got to do it. And then a couple underpriced guys. I mean, Cooper Kupp. Why is he only 6K? I think Pittman's a really good run back in that game after disappointing. He's still a good receiver. He's going to get his. Love that run back. And then, yeah, I mean, the more I talk about it, though, CeeDee Lamb's going to get ownership, Cooper, all that. If no one plays Zeke and everyone plays the passing game, maybe I'll just play Zeke, even though I don't want to get the leverage off of there at a low-owned guy at 6,200 who we know has a ceiling. So that's just the game theory mind that I have in tournaments and how you win them to get leverage. So obviously cash games, love Lamb, love Cooper. But tournaments, if they're too owned, I'm going to go back to Zeke. So Callaway, I'll go back to him too. 4,200.
Oh no one's
for that exact reason, because everyone's going to say that. Yeah. Oh, of course. I mean, not in tournaments. No, in cash I did, not in tournaments.
Yeah, cash. Okay.
Yeah, tournaments I didn't go there, but now no one's gonna. I mean, what? They didn't have to throw the ball. You expect them to throw it more than 18 times? Like he was wide receiver 1. I mean, he still is. No one's gonna play him.
Wide receiver 1 last week.
Yeah, first play he caught the 19-yard pass. I mean, no one was wide receiver. I mean, he was out there the most. If they need to throw, I'll go back there if no one else does. He's 4,200.
Callaway's your guy then.
No, I like Sanders. I like Beasley. Don't put words on my mouth. That's
what did they have? Cap. Callaway had 2 fucking targets.
They didn't throw
20 throws.
Yeah, I mean they literally
10%.
didn't.
It's not a lot. Small sample. I get it.
Yeah, definitely a small sample.
Chenault's always a big play waiting to happen. Jacoby Myers is interesting just because Jones really seems to like him. I just don't know if there's many big plays coming out of that offense right now. And then Waddle looked terrific last week. I mean, these guys coming out of college now, the top guys, they're just making an immediate impact. I don't know. They want to go to.
They do get Fuller back. I will say though, it's another mouth to feed. But I think I love Devontae Parker too. Like I love that trio they have in Miami. I don't love Tua's arm strength, unfortunately, but I love that trio.
You don't like Tua, huh?
I'm not a Tua guy.
No, good. I tried to tell y'all last year.
You were saying that, yeah. But you also said you also were talking shit about Jonathan Taylor, and yeah, I mean now you know Heinz isn't a part of that offense as much for a reason. Jonathan Taylor could catch the football.
He also said the Bengals
Heinz outperformed Taylor
last year.
We can if he's gonna say all this, we can bring up some.
Wait, what did I say?
Takes. Yeah. You were taking the Tua. You're like, oh.
Wait, hold on. Holden just said I said something.
Yeah, you said the Bengals were going to the playoffs.
No, I didn't. I don't think I said that.
No,
shot.
you guaranteed it. Go back and listen to the tape. Prove me wrong.
I will go back and listen to the tape, but then I feel like it's going to be a waste of 8 hours.
No,
I don't know if I'm going to be.
If you really think that I'm lying, you might as well do it. But
if you find it, Rubio, he does the hot chip challenge again.
That's true.
Hold on, he can prove that he didn't find it, and all he can say is, "Hey, I didn't do it because I listened to the whole thing." Because I'm not going to go listen to the whole.
Oh, that's true.
He could do the whole screw around me, so I'm not going to make this. You
wasn't thinking like that.
Here, I have a couple names I want to throw out here too. Juwan Johnson.
Chris Godwin's the only other one. Chris Godwin. Now go.
Godwin. You go Godwin over Antonio Brown and Evans, right?
Right now.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Yeah, especially Evans is only 6.1 though. That big red zone body and all that too. He could definitely be a guy who gets 30 on a slate like this. And those receivers are cheap. I didn't even realize that.
One's going to get there. Yeah.
Dude, Antonio Brown and Godwin. I mean, they all Brady. How do you just not stack both of them?
You stack two of the three, and I'm going to have probably a Tampa stack because, I don't love Brady. I mean, he's just slinging it, though. And that they're not trusting the running back. So sorry I interrupted you. I think
you're fine.
That's a good topic though. Tampa receivers are going to get underlooked this week,
especially with a team implied 32 or something like that. So we can't forget about them completely. Obviously, the running back position is a mess, but if you don't think they get it done on the ground, they have to do it through the air. And I know Gronk was the guy who got 2 touchdowns last week. So that easily could have been Mike Evans. So or Chris Godwin in this case and stuff like that. So I'll definitely like that shot. It's kind of something I overlooked and didn't even mark down during my first look. So, kind of putting my eyes there. CeeDee Lamb's going to be chalk. Amari Cooper's going to be chalk. Those Tampa guys could definitely go overlooked like I just did. It is kind of a nice shot.
Talk about your other ones that you liked. You were about to name a couple.
Just the cheap bottom of the barrel. Juwan Johnson still listed as a wide receiver. That sucks, but he is going to be, looks like, the main tight end there. If he can get more than 3 targets a game, obviously we can't use, the volume as much of an excuse for week 1 for the Saints, but he definitely looked good there. I will go back to Elijah Moore if I have to. I think 3.5K and maybe a script that, should actually see him see targets for him and stuff like that. Obviously was a rough first go, but I definitely think he could be a PPR monster. And the very last guy I want to mention, and just because it pains me to say as much as it does, but I don't think we have seen the end very much of Van Jefferson. That week 1 bomb that he had and stuff like that. I think that's a sign of things to come. Someone who goes at 3.5K too. It's kind of someone I'm looking at as well. And one last guy too, Cedric Wilson. What are you going to do with him? I'm kind of fiddling with him. 3.1K could be foul chalk, but he will be wide receiver 3.
Let me bring up Jefferson because I think that's a great one. He's basically Deshaun Jackson because he needs a home run. If he hits the home run, he's there. He's fast as shit. He's super talented. He didn't see the targets, though. It's like Kupp, Woods. I want to say he had 3 targets or 4 targets in the game. Let me go look it up real quick. I don't love the volume, but if you want to treat him like we treated Deshaun Jackson a couple of years ago where he's going to make a home run, then boom. And why don't we? You don't like those plays, though, Rubio, because they're big plays and they really mess with the rest of your statistics. So
it's different.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Title.
I moved the goalpost.
Cap. Okay, so anything you want to do at tight end, Title?
How many targets did he have? Did you look it up?
3.
3.
3 targets.
Yeah. Big play if he he's going to be really low owned. So
it's Cooper Kupp, man. Cooper Kupp show there.
Yeah, I agree, but he's way too cheap. He's gonna be chalky. I'm gonna pivot to Robert Woods this week in tournaments, just because if Cooper Kupp's 28% and Robert Woods is 5%, what changes? Each week someone can perform. I think Cooper Kupp.
Higbee got 6 targets, second on the team.
We're getting to tight end. I love Tyler Higbee. I think if you're going down, there's tight end's absolutely loaded this week. There's Waller up top. Everyone just watch what he did on Monday night. He's going to get ownership for good reason. Carr has his eyes on him, and he just finds a way to always get open. Kittle's right there at 6'4". That's 1,200 savings from Waller to Kittle, which is significant. We talk about San Fran. I know last week I said so many mouths to feed. Rubio said he's not touching San Fran. If I touch anyone, it is going to be Kittle, though, just because it's at the tight end position. Chiefs aren't on the slate, so there's no Kelsey. So I'm good going right back to Kittle. And then other than that, then you get to the Fant at 4.2 and Higbee at 4.1. I prefer Higbee right now. Stafford loved him. I was really high on preseason too. You get an upgrade from Stafford. Stafford likes his tight ends. He used Hawkinson a lot. One of those 4 tight ends, I don't see myself even pivoting in tournaments. Like if I do, I mean, Kyle Pitts, but I don't love picking on Tampa. 5-2, I think Matt Ryan is complete dust. So I like his underlying metrics. I like his target share. I like his targets, but and Matt Ryan's going to be under pressure all game. So it's probably one of those 4: Higbee, Fant, Waller, and Kittle for me.
Kittle last year against the Eagles, 40.1 DK points, 15 catches on 15 targets, 183 yards. And
wow. He's so good. And that's like, I think if he's going to probably get overlooked. Yeah. He's just a monster.
I remember having him. And it's the same team. I don't want to read too much into it, but let's see if we can get another maybe 10 for 10 and 100 and a touchdown. We'll take that out of Kittle this week. So I think Higbee, Kittle are my 2 guys that are standing out right now. Obviously, Waller's got to be in the mix, but he's going to be super popular. Hit me here. Rubio. Gronk isn't scoring 2 touchdowns again, but is he viable?
Oh, man, I probably won't touch Gronk.
Okay.
I mean, the thing is, like, he looked great, and he'll probably be a guy. I thought he'd play his way into shape, but he actually looked fantastic for the most part, in week 1. He has 10 days of rest, too. So, I mean, he has things going for him. It's just like, damn, there's so much better tight ends. We have Higbee and stuff like that for 4.1, as Title kind of mentioned. And if you're going to pay up for Gronk, well, the 4,700, I'd rather just go all the way up to a guy like Kittle and stuff where I know exactly what Title said. If there's going to be a guy I touch in the San Francisco 49ers, it's probably going to be George Kittle. He's the most consistent of anyone on that team. And that would be probably the way I go. But I think it's going to be a lot of Higbee for me. I just think, Stafford is going to have his eyes on him. And Higbee, when he had the chance without Everett last year, he was a stud. And this year is going to be no different. I just think it's going to be hard to avoid the low tier, the low 4K tier of tight ends again. But I just want to mention Tyler Conklin, 4 catches, 41 yards last week. He outscored Kyle Pitts, and I remember bringing that up at the end of the show last week. And I just kind of want to victory lap his 8.1 DK performance. Thank you.
And I'll victory lap exactly what I said. Why you don't play that guy is because someone like a Travis Kelce is gonna get there where you need him, or another tight end. So
that's what killed is like you discussed it, right? We discussed it on the thing, and sure enough, Holden brings up like, oh, what if Kelce does this? And we're like, oh, what if, what if he does that? And sure enough, Kelsey's the top scoring tight end by far. And
that's why you just play him.
Yeah. Like a lot of plays where you're looking at like, in retrospect in week 1, you're like, damn, that made a lot of sense. Like Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce, the best offense in football going unowned.
Had that stack and took it out Sunday morning too.
Oh, really?
I must have been drinking too late on Saturday and got to bed. I don't know what I was thinking when I woke up.
I'll tell you this, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing this every week. I did it last week. It paid off. I think every week I'll have a Mahomes, Kelce, Hill lineup.
They're so good.
I don't care. Just one lineup. And if they go off, 6 times this year, which is entirely possible that all 3 of them go off at the same time, fine. I'll take that. And then the other guy if he's healthy, Kyler Murray, man, like every week he probably has the highest ceiling and the highest floor right now. Mahomes is right there with him, but this dude can run for 100 yards. He can throw for 300. He has weapons all over the place. Oh man,
yeah, we always talk about paying up for quarterback. That's why. I mean, the top guys. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Lamar with his legs, like their ceiling is just so much higher than the Carson Wentz, Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater's.
Not Brady. Now Brady's back.
Even the ceiling, like Brady, like if Brady gets his 5 touchdowns, what's he gonna get? 5 touchdowns once a year, and when he gets those 5 touchdowns, Kyler Murray just put up the same last week as he did on his ceiling. So like, yeah, Brady's in the nuts matchup, but his ceiling being the same, I don't know.
I don't think there's anybody that has the ceiling of Kyler Murray. Not even Mahomes this year. Not when he's healthy. There was a massive drop-off, though. Whatever the injury was it a shoulder? There was a lower body. There was a couple of things bothering him, and then it went to shit. He just couldn't run. And if he can't run, he's not nearly as good. All right, guys. Fun show. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. RPS Heater 25. You want to check us out, 25% off your first monthly payment. So go and do that. Rubio, anything you'd like to close the show with? Anything that's going on in your life right now or anywhere you're going or what you're eating for dinner?
Do not overreact to week one shit. Like, week one is 1 week. It's one game. It's one sample size. I had my Verizon boss come up to me and he said, hey, I have a big question, right? I'm like, okay, what is it? Is it about work? No, you know what he tells me? He says Lamar Jackson or Trevor Lawrence this week. And I'm sitting there. I'm looking at him. I'm like, are you serious?
Damn straight.
He said, well, Trevor Lawrence went off last week and Lamar, he didn't look good. I'm like, it's Lamar Jackson or a rookie quarterback. Don't overreact to week one. Stick to your guns. Things that you thought in week one that didn't pan out, they probably happen in week two. Don't completely bail on the process. Trust the process, and you're going to ship. You're going to win big. Just don't overreact.
I'm just going to let that one slide there for you. But my favorite quote from Rubio ever is, week one is week one. That's some deep-ass shit you get.
It's not the whole season.
Title?
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point Rubio made. I mean, obviously.
Dinner. What are you eating for dinner?
What do you mean, what am I eating? It's 10:13 currently where I'm at, so I already ate.
I haven't eaten yet. I'm going to have some pancakes for dinner.
You said that last. Is that?
That's all I've been eating is pancakes all week.
Because it's so easy.
It's so tasty, too.
And tasty.
Like bananas and granola and blueberries and stuff.
Not healthy.
Yeah, I mean.
What did you have for dinner, Title?
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Oh, did your mom make that?
Yeah.
Of course.
God, it must be amazing.
You lucky bastard.
Right. Yeah. I'm definitely going to miss that in a month. Because, like, if it's done at 5.
Hold up. I got a surprise. Hey, Uncle T.
Hey, what are you doing?
What do you mean?
Oh, here, guess who's getting on mute? Oh, can you hear RubioDimes right now?
You muted him?
Talking Rubio. It is I'm so sorry that I have the mute button here and I can't hear the shit that Uncle T was going to say.
You muted him? I want to hear him.
Last night I muted him twice. He was pissed off. All right, let's bring him back. Rubio, are you there? I can't hear him. He doesn't want to be unmuted.
Tell Holden what?
All right, there he is.
Okay.
No, I heard you, Papa T. You said, tell Holden to kick his ass.
He hung up.
He got so pissed when I muted him the other night. Last night.
I saw.
I don't like pissing people off that much. He was pissed off. So I think that probably pissed him off.
I thought it was some around the horn type shit.
Yeah. I think his nephew liked it, though. Uncle T. All right, go kick his ass on the golf course. Title, it's wonderful seeing you. And keep running pure, mofos. Simon, get us out of here.
Taking the victory lap here with our boy Big T. Massive takedown PGA last night. Shipped the Millie.
The Twins got the job done for our boy Hoop. Won him $100K. Won him a live final seat.
JSU shipped $200K on, I think, just $1,000 worth of entries. He had a monster night.
Anytime we see members crush like this, we're excited.
Last night, one of our most loyal subscribers from the beginning, Jay Love, took down $20K.
I want to give a shout out to Redmen, who won over $50,000 on opening day.
Blind Bandit took down the $100,000 top prize.
We had someone win a live final seat.
It was one of those days where it's like going 5x or 10x on your money. It wasn't enough to get enough love in the Discord.
Record 62 took down the Millie Maker.
I don't even know if this heater is ever going to end.
Some of these other sites are just boring you to death.
I like how other sites nickel and dime you for every penny they can get.
Tons of the members have given tickets and membership on their own. Like, we're not telling them to do that. They're just doing it for good mojo.
You love to see it. We love the good mojo. And
the mojo is what the mojo is. I give you credit for still having that hat on. We appreciate it.
Wait till we ship tonight. I might never take it off.